hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, wherever you are. This afternoon, happy Wednesday, and I hope you're doing well. I hope the weather is getting warmer wherever you are. I'm joining you live from Austin, and my name is Taiwo. If you are new to my page, my name is Taiwo, and I am going to discuss on today's topic. I'm going to talk about S corporations. Now, a lot of you, a lot of you business owners may have elected to be taxed as an S corp, and so I wanted to come on here today to mention a few things that you should be doing or that you should do before you file your taxes for 2025 for the 2024 tax year. Now, if you're seeing me, let me know that you can hear me or you can see me. But first, I am Taiwa Agbaje. I am a tax strategist. I'm also a certified public accountant, and I work with private practice medical doctors, care agencies, and real estate investors to help them strategically save on taxes. Now, if you have an S corp, the first thing you want to know, if 2024 was your first S corp election, you should have an approval letter from the IRS. If you don't have the approval letter from the IRS, then chances are that your S corp has not been approved. Now, if your S corp has not been approved, and you know that you are going to benefit from being an S corp for 2024, either due to your numbers, you had a profitable year, and you know that you're going to have a significant amount in net profit that would be subject to self-employment tax, and you know that you've elected for S-Corp but you have not received that approval letter, you could put a call through to the IRS and let them tell you if that request has been granted. So the first thing is you have to have the IRS approval letter. That's very, very important. Now, if you filed your S-Corp, your tax return for 2024 as an S-Corp without being approved by the IRS, unfortunately, they are not going to process that tax return. They are going to return it back to you later on. It might not be now, it might be next year, because that's what they do. It usually takes some time before they get to it. But know that if you are filing an S-Corp without an approved S-Corp with the IRS, they are not going to process your S-Corp tax return. So that would end up resulting in you having to amend your tax return. So the first thing you want to do to avoid that is to make sure that you have that approval letter. That's number one. The second thing is, if you still feel like you want to S-Corp, you want to apply for that S-Corp election, you can still do that when you file your tax return for 2024. The S-Corp approval application would have to be filed alongside your tax return when you file the 1120S. So that's one thing. Another thing that you should be aware of. Now, even though you've been approved for an S-Corp, if you are not aware, for S-Corp entities, you now have to file an 1120S. The 1120S is what you will file that will generate your Schedule K1 that will be utilized to file your personal tax return. If you have been using a tax, if you have been self-preparing your taxes, or this is the first year of you being an S-Corp, you might want to ask those questions to your tax preparer if they understand, how to file an S-Corp tax return. If they don't know how to file, or if they've not done it before, or they are not experienced enough to do that, then it might be time for you to look for someone else. Now, before you file your S-Corp tax return, you also have to understand that there are certain things that you should be aware of. The first one is you have to have a good set of books. Your financial statement must be at least clean. It should be clean. Now, it is different when you had an LLC, where when you're preparing an LLC, single member LLC tax return, where you typically report on Schedule C, you are not required to have the balance sheet included. Now, when you have an S-Corp and your S-Corp had revenue that exceeded $250,000 or more, or even net asset that exceeds $250,000 in a year, you will have to prepare the balance sheet on the tax return as well. So as a result, as an S-Corp entity, you are required to have good set of book, complete financial statement, which includes the profit and loss and the balance sheet. If you don't have those two statements, your tax preparer will find it very difficult to prepare your tax return, and they might not be able to do a good job without having accurate numbers coming from you. So that brings me to the point that your bookkeeping must be clean. All your bank accounts must be reconciled. Your loan statements must be reconciled to your external loan balances from your lenders. Your mortgage statements must be reconciled. Your interest account, your interest payments must be correct and must tie to the profit and loss. And also, all your credit card statements must also be reconciled. If you don't have all of those things done, then there's a high likelihood that your tax return will be incorrect when prepared. So these are some of the extra requirements that comes with being an S-Corp. And I know that as we're getting into filing taxes now, a lot of you might not be aware of this. So in summary, you need to, number one, have your S-Corp approval letter in hand and on file. And then the second one is you have to have a good set of books. If your tax preparer is not versed in preparing or is not knowledgeable in preparing S-Corp or entity tax returns, you can reach out to other CPAs, other tax professionals to help you do that. We also file S-Corp tax returns if you're looking for someone to help you do that. And then I also mentioned the fact that you need to have a good set of books. Your bookkeeping must be clean in order to be able to have your tax return done correctly. So if you are looking for a CPA or a tax professional for your S-Corp or for your business, reach out to us. We are currently accepting new clients for the tax season, and we will be able to take care of your tax needs. You can go on my link and check the link tree. There's a form that you can complete to get in touch with us, and someone on my team will reach out to you. I'll see you tomorrow again hopefully tomorrow for another tax topic. Thank you. Bye.